The Thunder and Mavs are tied 2 games apiece. And guess what? The Thunder are now 4.5-point favorites at home in tomorrow night's Game 5. Paul, is it possible? Is it even possible that you underestimated the baby Thunder?
I didn't underestimate them. Huh? You know, they just still young, wet behind the ears. They still got diapers on, baby shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yet
still
they
put them on the
won
knee.
last night. I don't know how.
Like I said earlier, it's a lot of what Denver is, Dallas is not doing, than more so what OKC is doing.
How could that be the case, though, Paul? Dallas is doing everything wrong in every game that they play in?
Well, on one hand, you got a superstar who's consistent. He might be the most consistent superstar in the playoffs right now.
He's just going to give you 30.
He's just going to give you 30, and nothing more, nothing less.
No.
But you can count on this. Shai going to give you between 30 and 36 every night. Consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I don't see the same on the other side with Dallas. So did I underestimate the Thunder? No. I still believe that Dallas is going to win in 6 games. Well, not 6 now. I think, they're in 6 because I believe that Dallas is in a must-win situation once they get back to OKC.
So you
in Game 5, then come back to Game 6 and win at home because I don't want to see them in a Game 7 in a hostile environment where the referees can get persuaded by the crowd and, bad call here and there can go either way at home. So OKC is who I thought they were, a good young team with potential in the future. I just don't think
this is the future.
I just don't think their time is now. I think they're ahead of schedule. I think they're way ahead of schedule, as a matter of fact, because we've never seen nothing like this, a team this young in the #1 seed in a very, very tough conference this year.
Mm-hmm.
The West was just a bloodbath. We know that.
Yep.
For them to get the #1 seed, Shai probably should have got MVP. They got Coach of the Year. Chet on any other given year would have won Rookie of the Year, and so on and so on. No, I don't underestimate them, but I still don't got them getting out the second round.
Do you believe in them at all? Because their record certainly indicates that they're the best team.
Their record says one thing, but I just think the experience is something that moves the needle for me.
But what experience?
What experience?
Of
understanding the moment. Luka understands the urgency you need to win on the road in a Game 5 or a closeout game in a tough building. Kyrie understands the same thing, being his experience, being a champion on how to get things done in a hostile environment and understand the mindset you got to be in and understanding the urgency you got to have. I just believe those experiences come into play when you've been through it, to where I'm a wide-eyed young fella going into a hostile environment and
they just won last night.
I get it.
In a hostile environment.
I get it.
With no experience.
But consistently doing it, further the series goes, the further the playoffs goes. I just think the guys on the other side have been in those situations. And I have more confidence in the guys who've been there than the guys who haven't.
So let me ask you this, because you've obviously been there and done it. When you look at a team like OKC, because I look at them as this, every team and every player that play a sport has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere to get there.
Yeah.
Because prior to Dallas getting to the Western Conference Final several years ago with Luka and Jalen Brunson, they hadn't been there.
Mm-hmm.
But they got there eventually, but never got to the final.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie won a championship 10 years ago? Was that 10 years ago?
Something like that.
2015, yep.
Hadn't really been on deep playoff runs in a very, very long time.
Yes, no.
But we give all that experience to the Mavericks.
But some of the other players have, where collectively, as a whole, OKC has not. Like you talk about Kyrie, LeBron's been there. When you talk about Luka with Brunson, you understand. Luka's been playing professional and championship basketball all overseas.
I understand. I get
hostile
that.
environments.
But those young dudes been playing basketball their entire lives.
But they haven't been in the playoffs. They haven't been playing against with the lights is bright now in a small market like OKC. Now, when they come to practice, after practice key, it's a big difference. when you come to practice and there's not a lot of media attention to when you get to practice now, you got about 45 reporters with cameras and microphones in your face. You know and the lights is bright where you can't see, and now all this media attention is being brought to you. That can cause those nerves can get struck to where it can make you a little more nervous. It can make you a little more anxious.
So you're going to go, Skip. So what you telling me then, Paul, is I'm going to go from 30 media people with cameras at my press conference to
100 or something.
100, and I'm going to get nervous because there's more cameras?
Yeah, they call it stage fright. I've seen this, and I've seen this. It's just like in movie business. It's just like in theater. You can go from the lunchroom, and then you go to the big stage, and you can't perform. You know, this happens. This happens.
They own the big stage now.
Yeah, but, you know, people take their lumps. When we saw Golden State run through their dynasty, they took their lumps. They took their losses. This is their first playoff run together. And I'm not saying they're not going to get there, but it's hard to imagine seeing them in the finals in their first playoff run, being that they're the
They may not make it to the NBA final. Our conversation, me and Skip conversation with you, was about them getting out of Dallas.
Getting out of Dallas. And that's what I say. I think that plays an important part, the experience factor. Like, yeah, they were the #1 seed. Yeah, they got a guy. And that's why I say, you know, Shea didn't get the MVP because there weren't a lot of eyes on him throughout the year. I truly believe that. You know, like I said, it was more, if there were more national games, televised game, and there was more marquee matchups to where you saw him versus Luka during the regular season, or you saw him against, you know, one of his peers in a national televised setting, and he got the best of them, then things would be different.
Paul.
But in saying that, it's hard for me to imagine.
Paul, you're about to be in big trouble.
For sure.
You have dangerously underestimated this team.
I have not underestimated them. Did I see them going to the second round?
Did they look
now, let
like
me tell you this.
stage frightened in game 1 at Oklahoma City?
No,
What'd that look like?
No, they didn't.
Okay, they just played 3 sorry games by their standards.
Yes.
By their standards.
Yes.
They shot 39% from 3 during the regular season. It led the NBA. They have shot 31% from 3 over the last 3 games. Trust me, that is about to change in a big way. Last night, they won their first game all season shooting 38% as a team from the floor. They don't do that.
They don't do that.
They won 57 games shooting way better than that. That was an aberration, and it will change.
I don't even know how many games they won by being down double digits.
Okay, they led
back. They led the league. I don't even know what that number is.
I believe it's 10 times.
Tell me this. What
10
encourages y'all going into game 5 other than them being at home?
We just told you.
What do the numbers tell you?
I just said it. Skip just said it, and I said it
tell me.
Hey, guess what they just did in the fourth quarter? Paul, look what they just did in the fourth quarter last night at Dallas on big national TV stage. They scored 65 points total through the first 3 quarters. Then they scored 35 in the fourth quarter.
What you're banking on one good quarter.
Am I? Because they took the game over, and Dallas and Luka and Kyrie could not take the game over.
So you banking on, okay,
Shea
guys, we
took
had
the
one
game
good
over.
quarter.
Chet took the game over when it mattered most,
So
right?
that's your pregame speech to them.
So
that's your pregame speech to them going into game 5. We had one good quarter, guys. We can do it again. Well, I'll tell you this.
But if I keep the game close, if I keep the game close like they kept it close, and my fourth quarter is better than your fourth quarter, I'm probably going to win the game.
Well, I'm looking at it like this. I'm Dallas. I'm encouraged going into game 5. You know why? Because my superstar is not going to go 6 for 20.
I've heard this before.
And you know why I'm encouraged?
He keeps going 6 for 20.
They keep going 6 for 20.
But I'm encouraged. Like my pregame, I'm encouraged. My pregame speech and all of this, I'm encouraged. I'm more encouraged about Dallas than I would be about OKC because they won 1 quarter. Oh, yeah,
it was the quarter, man.
It was, okay, so now we're going to say, guys, all we got to do is win 1 quarter.
No,
because I'm going to be like, look, Kyrie, he's not going to score 9 again.
You just told me this 2 days ago.
The law of averages is going to play out.
I don't care. You just told me.
The law of averages is going to play out.
You said, hey, Keyshawn.
We know that.
You said, hey, Keyshawn, bet the farm on Kyrie scoring more than 9. This is what you told me.
After game 3, when he scored 9 and they won, and game 4,
you said it'll never happen again.
And what was that? Game 2, he scored 9.
Yep.
Yeah, game 2, he had 9 and 11. But he had 11 assists to go with it, so he played a great floor game. But I guarantee you, he's looking at this like, ain't no way you can stop.
That may be true. He may go off.
So that's why I'm saying I'm encouraged more for Dallas than I am for OKC because you cannot tell me that y'all are confident after having 1 good quarter and they stole the game.
They just outplayed
stole
him.
it.
They outshot him. They outclutched him.
They shot 38%. Lou Dort had 8 points in the fourth. Chet Holmgren had 7 points in the fourth.
Who made all the clutch free throws down the stretch?
I know who didn't. Luka didn't.
He did.
And I don't think he's going to do that.
But you always tell me, and I have to listen to you because you're an NBA guy and everything. And your superstar players know how to close it out because they have experience. Well, looking at these box scores,
yeah, and I just see the experience didn't show last.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Be honest with me.
Yeah, it didn't show last night. But I believe over the course of a marathon, this is not a sprint. OKC will win the sprint, but when they turn this to a marathon, then I got all the belief that Dallas will win in the end.
There's only 3 games left, man. At some point, that sprint, that marathon, you're going to have to pick and choose one of them.
Mm-hmm. So, Paul, do you have Luka going for 40 on Lou Dort?
No, not 40, but I bet you he'll have 30 next game at least.
On Lou Dort.
At least 30. I'm shocked.
I don't even think anybody scored 30 from the Mavs this series.
No.
Oh, okay. So now all of a sudden he's going to have 30. But nobody scored 30.
I guarantee he'll have 30 next game.
Tomorrow.
30 or up.
Okay.
I guarantee that.
Okay, do you guarantee a Mavs win?
And I guarantee a Mavs win.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All signs point to it. They can't play no worse.
No sign points to it.
They can't shoot free throws worse. Luka can't play any worse. Kyrie can't play any worse. And OKC squeaked out of there with a win.
Oklahoma City.
Denver playing their worst.
Hey, Paul.
OKC squeaked out with a win.
Oklahoma City can't play any worse than they played the last 3 games. You are so lucky.
They played great last game.
Yeah.
They played great last game. That's the problem. They played great last
In
night.
a hostile environment.
Yeah. Are the Mavericks, will the Mavericks tomorrow night set a new playoff record by blocking 14 shots? They blocked 13
they'll
last
set a new
night.
playoff record by shooting 70% from the line. How about that?
Okay.
They're shooting 64 for the series. I can't believe that.
I feel for you.
I feel for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's okay.
I can't wait.
You just bet on the wrong
Can't
horse.
wait. No, I didn't.
You should take the
All my
3-year-old.
horses is in the race, and all my horses coming down the stretch got the lead.
Thoroughbreds. Yeah.
Got the lead.
Yeah. We just won the Kentucky Derby last night.
No.
Okay, will young Jordan beat the Nuggets for a 3rd straight time tonight in Denver? That's the question.
Not really.
What's up at DQ? These two are debating which $7 meal deal, with fries, drink, and a sundae, is the best full-size meal deal of all.
Cheeseburger.
Chicken strips. There's something for everyone in the